Do you think it's helpful, and maybe this is more of a political question, Chip, than a military one, for, the US Defence Secretary, I think it was yesterday, to say that, one of the strategic missions now, really, of the United States seems to be to kind of degrade Russia to the point where it could never do something like this again. I mean, that does risk escalation, doesn't it?
Not necessarily. I don't think the Russians really want to take on NATO, and then you have to go above the things I said about the strategic aims to the grand strategic aims of Russia. It's been quite clear for a number of years that the grand strategic aims of Russia include, and this was sort of mentioned by Lavrov really, that they want to regain territory in their lost spheres of influence. Spheres of influence is a Cold War construct which no one really buys into anymore, apart from Russia. That's why all the former Soviet satellites joined the NATO. They feared a revanchist Russia, which is why they did what they did. They also want to re-establish themselves as a great power, and Putin has probably done more damage to Russia than Nicholas II in the revolution in 1917 in the last 61 days.
Yeah, well, it's quite a claim, but we did hear, didn't we, from Ben Wallace yesterday, suggesting up to 15,000 Russian soldiers may well have lost their lives. Just finally, Chip, on what's happening in the Donbass region, we know there's quite intense fighting, don't we? We know the weather's been pretty awful there for the last couple of days. Do we have any real sense whether Russia is making any substantial progress, enough progress, as you say, that Vladimir Putin could claim some type of victory, in just a couple of weeks' time on the 9th of May?
Well, to really make progress, you need shock, surprise, control of the air to try and gain operational manoeuvre to absolutely unhinge the Ukrainians by either envelopment or encirclement. They have to do that quickly. I don't think they will. I think we'll be back to the future in what we call entropy. That is, after the initial shock or surprise degrade, then attrition then predominates once again. We're probably into a longer war scenario.